Good morning. It is Wednesday. Devices sessions with our brand new studio opening in Devices in November. More on that later. We've got sessions in Devices today, sessions in Marlborough, from bar to strength sessions to Pilates to boxing. And I'm about to go into the dark. So, busy day. Anyway, I want to talk about protein because I had a question yesterday when I was chatting to someone about our free 5-day Kickstart, which begins on Monday, by the way. I'll put a link in the description of this video. If you want to join that, it's completely free, 5 days. All I ask is you meet me halfway and show up. It's specifically for ladies over 40. Now, we're talking about protein because she was saying that she's heard a lot of things. Sometimes you need a lot, sometimes you don't need a lot. Like, things are different. And then she said that she's read for women that they especially need more. As we age, we need more. So I just wanted to go over that. And she's right in that as we age, women and men, our ability to utilise, synthesise protein decreases. And this means that we need a better quality of protein, aka what the protein's made out of, the amino acids. So for argument's sake, a complete protein are things like eggs, meat, fish, dairy, soy. They're examples of complete proteins. Incomplete proteins would be things like beans, legumes, things like grains will contain incomplete proteins, so you need to more mix them together, okay? More on that in a second. You also need more quantity. For example, in one study they found that around 15 grams stimulated the response in the muscle that protein does to help with recovery. That's a good signal of how much you're utilising in around 18-year-olds, whereas you compare that to 60-year-olds and they needed about 60 grams. So 50, 60 grams, which is pretty much 3 times the amount. And it's kind of eye-opening to why, if you think about how we deteriorate, quality of life, muscle loss with age, if we need to have an operation at any time and we're bedbound for 6 to 8 weeks, the impacts on that, of our quality of life after that. Not to mention osteoporosis, bone health, your energy levels and your recovery from any exercise you do, from walking to strength training, to make sure that you can go again tomorrow, to make sure you don't feel horrendous. Not to mention the role of protein in keeping you full up. You've got to put something in the tank. You've got to put something in. So why not protein? Well, obviously, you don't want to just eat protein. There's other nutrients you need in your diet to get that balance. But if you're worried about eating more protein because of, say, you've heard something to do with kidneys, you've got to remember that protein's only bad for your kidneys if you have kidney disease, if you already have kidney failure. So if you have kidney failure, you want to be making sure you're speaking to someone about that, and this is irrelevant for you. If your kidneys are working fine, it's a bit like saying you shouldn't breathe if you don't have lungs, basically. Anyway, more on this now. So going back to the protein, I'm not going to give you a specific amount right now, but what I will say is, from working with thousands of ladies over the last 10 years or whatever, I can almost always say that people are low-ish on the protein. And actually, rather than aiming for this ridiculous number, I mean, you could do, and if you wanted a number, if you're like that, because I know some people love the numbers, 1 gram to 1.4 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight is probably a good place to start. But again, if you think that's too high compared to what you're doing now, if you are aware of it, then just use this simple guide. Take out your hand and aim for a hand-sized guide of protein at every meal. Try and get protein at every meal. That will reduce ghrelin, the hunger hormone, at each meal, so you stop earlier, but also keep you prolonged a little bit longer so you're fuller. Not to mention the benefits I said before in terms of your recovery. Not to mention skin, hair, nails. Your digestive enzymes are made of protein. It's an essential nutrient. Now, if you're vegetarian and you're thinking, or vegan, you're thinking, I can't get enough protein in terms of protein, you can use meat alternatives. You can mix lots of beans. Of course, you need to eat quite a lot of beans to get an amount of protein, and if you do have IBS or you suffer with issues like that, it can be an issue, but there's lots of meat alternatives you can use. Yes, you still want to be wary of some of the nutrients you may miss out on, like omega-3 from fish, like iron, like B12, like carnitine, creatine, all these nutrients that, if you listen to Tilly Spur's podcast the other week from Chichester University, he's a researcher into teenagers, adolescent nutrition, you would have seen that pigeon in my face. So, I think I've covered everything in there. If you have any other questions on that, for now anyway, do let me know. We're going to be delving into this in a bit more detail in the 5-day free Kickstart, which begins on Monday the 19th of October. You'll have a small little task in the morning, no more than 5 minutes. You have a 10-minute workout that you can just get in from home whenever suits you. You don't have to do it live. And then in the evening, we come together for a Q&A at 8:30 in the evening. Again, you can catch up. Any questions you can post to me, and we can go over it in a bit more detail. And just go over your situation to hopefully avoid that overwhelm that we have in nutrition so often. Should I eat protein? Should I not? 1 week I'm high protein, and I see my friend Jane, and Jane says, no, you need to do this now. Just getting through that, because you've got to know that sometimes there's an agenda on some people's food claims. You look at these diets and it's like, oh, here we go with the supplements coming in. And if you're just reliant on supplements all the time, there's a place for them. But, it's about looking at, okay, what's going to work for you, your lifestyle, your food preferences, your work patterns, what you actually enjoy doing, and not taking it so seriously sometimes. Because actually, sometimes that's the issue. I spoke to one of the ladies yesterday. She said, one of the best things about what I've done so far is just not been obsessive about food. And because I've been exercising, I've been feeling better. And that's her key thing. That's her key, that domino, which we've focused on. And that's helped her build into the habits. And now she wants to eat healthy. She's choosing to eat healthy because she's like, I don't feel like I have to do it, but I want to do it because I want to feel better. I want more energy. And it's not forced. There's a big difference. She's valuing it more. Anyway, I've gone way past Specsavers, which is my normal space to stop. So I best head off. Any questions, do let me know. Early morning session starting in about 17 minutes. Plenty of time. Speak soon.